Members of Congress are demanding answers about deep, dark secrets hidden inside the vast national security apparatus secretly related to UFOs. New witnesses are being called to a public hearing that's set for next month.
One of the largest UFO programs ever funded by the government was based right here in Las Vegas, and nearly everything produced by that program is still hidden away.
8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp spoke with one of its central figures, scientist and author Dr. Jacques Vallee.
And just saying, well, just, disclose, doesn't answer any of that. Okay.
Jacques Vallee has been a central figure in UFO research and debate for more than 6 decades. He's often been at odds with UFO orthodoxy, was among the first to argue that the unknown craft seen for centuries in our skies and oceans may not be from other planets, but from other realities. He's heard the demands for an end to official secrecy many times, and at the same time has participated in secretive efforts himself, including a UFO study launched by the Defense Intelligence Agency in 2008 and hidden inside a Las Vegas aerospace company. One focus of the DIA's OSAP effort was and is genuinely disturbing: the real-life health consequences for humans who come into contact with UFOs. Hundreds of serious injuries have been documented. OSAP investigators traveled to Brazil to obtain government files related to hundreds of Brazilians treated for injuries after being targeted by UFOs. Dr. Vallee won't discuss specific OSAP files except for cases he provided to the database, injuries which he says were not accidental.
So I can tell you that in my files, some of which I contributed to the database, there are at least half a dozen well-documented cases where the injuries that resulted in death were deliberate.
Incidents in which UFOs deliberately cause physical harm to humans are rare, according to personnel who have seen the full OSAP files, but they do occur. Dr. Colm Kelleher, one of OSAP's managers, has said bluntly that UFOs are bad for human health. Could that be a reason to keep secrets? If there is some kind of non-human intelligence here, the secrecy starts with them. But governments, in particular the U.S. government, have created multiple other levels of secrecy.
The atomic secrecy, primarily, which most people in the Pentagon are not cleared for, and then the military secrecy and the strategic secrecy, and then the diplomatic secrecy.
In Dr. Vallee's most recent book, Forbidden Science: Scattered Castles, he shares private exchanges with colleagues from the OSAP program, including Las Vegas billionaire Robert Bigelow and a close-knit group of scientists nicknamed the Lone Stars. The scientists, some of them former CIA contractors, accept that the U.S. government has recovered crashed vehicles of unknown origin, that defense contractors have worked for decades to reverse engineer that technology at secretive facilities in the desert and elsewhere. They say adversary nations have done likewise. The race to duplicate that technology means national security is at stake. Vallée favors transparency, but worries that an official declaration could prove chaotic.
So if we want to disclose something as simple as saying, yes, we acknowledge the phenomenon, and it seems to be from space, we would have to, once you do that, you have to answer 100 other questions. This is not the end. This is not the end of the story.
While Dr. Vallee is encouraged by the renewed interest in UFOs within Congress, mainstream media, and academia, he thinks someone needs to craft a well-planned strategy for how to unleash what would likely be the biggest news story in history.
I think we should disclose, but we should disclose with a structure, and the structure hasn't been invented yet.
George Knapp, 8 News Now.
The DIA investigation based here in Las Vegas was supposed to last 5 years. Funding was cut off, though, after 27 months. But it did produce an enormous body of work, not one page of which has been made public 14 years after that program ended. And you can watch George Knapp and all of our 8 News Now investigators reporting anytime on our 8 News Now Vegas TV app. It's available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, or Roku.